And now even the fight against Sugar, you know, the first fight was decent, but the fight just now was amazing. And, you know, for him to put that third round submission finish on him with a north-south choke, the way he done it, the pressure that he kept up on him. And like Sugar O'Malley said at the end, Merab is a motherfucker. And what he meant by that is, this guy's just fucking too good, bro. Okay, first of all, guys, we're going to start off with UFC 316. It was on the right card. It was good. It was good. I wouldn't say it was magnificent, but it was a good card. I definitely enjoyed the last two fights. There was a few good knockouts. Actually, one of the best knockouts on it. It was the Battle of the Asians, guys. It was the Indonesian guy who, come on, let's be honest. We know Indians and Pakistanis can't fight, man. You guys have got chin made of fucking glass. Not even glass, bro. Your chin's made of fucking paper mache. Like, it is, like, you guys have no chins. And, you know, we saw the Battle of the Asians. We saw a South Korean guy, which he's got the most craziest name, right? The South Korean guy is called Yaju Sang. Yaju Sang. Yaju Sang. That's his name. And he went up against Indonesian guy, you know, looks like a Pajit. And his name is Jeka Saraji. And I remember the last time I watched an Indian guy fight in the UFC, I was with my cousin Andy. I was with a few of my German friends. And I turned around and I said to them all, watch, bro, this Indian guy's going to get knocked out in under a minute. What happened? The Indian guy got knocked out in the first punch. Next up, what happens? This time, there's an Indonesian guy, right? Which Indonesians, judging from the outside, they look like a mix of Oriental and Indians, right? And I said it again. I was like, you know, this Indonesian guy's got no chance. Not only was he going up against a guy who was unbeaten, but he was going up against a South Korean killer. What happened? First punch that actually connected. The Indonesian guy planted head first on the ground, sleeping. And look, it's proven with even Amir Khan, man. My Indians, stick to business. You guys are magnificent at business. Stick to making curries and food. You guys are magnificent at culinary and have an amazing cuisine. But my G's, cut the fighting out, man. Like, literally, Indians need to make their own league for fighting, because when you guys come to the UFC, Bellator, anything, you guys always get cooked. Even the last time, this Indian guy who come to the UFC last time, I forgot his name. Probably his name's Pajit, but Pajit Singh or Pajit Patel. But yeah, the last time he come to the UFC, like, he was meant to be like the next Indian star. They hyped up this guy like he was going to be the one, man. Even me, I slightly believed it. I was like, all right. You know, we've got a deodorant dodger that's going to go and fucking take over the UFC. What happens? First hit out. And yeah, that was probably the best knockout of UFC 316, man. Yeah, that was the best knockout of UFC 316. Battle of the Asians. South Korean guy, he's the Indonesian guy. And like I said before, the Oriental Asians, they've got real power. And like we've seen in the past, you know, Bruce Lee, etc., they have a fighting history and they are great at fighting. Would I say they're the best? No, but they're getting up there, especially now that they're starting to use wrestling more in their fighting techniques. To my Indians, like I said, man, I've got Indian friends. I'll tell you guys straight, stick to the curry, stick to the biryanis, stick to the mathematics, the accountants, you know, the doctors. My guys, you are not fighters. You guys can't fight. Built of like fucking paper mache. Not for you guys. Next up, we have Merab Dvalishvili. Yeah, the fucking bantamweight GOAT. And you know what? I used to be a hater of Merab. I'm not going to sit here and lie and pretend. I wasn't a hater where I hated him, but I was a guy who was like, yeah, he's boring. I don't want to see him retain his title. I hope Sugar O'Malley knocks him out. But you know what? His last few fights have been exciting as fuck, man. That Umar fight was unbelievable. Watch that live here in Los Angeles. And now even the fight against Sugar, you know, the first fight was decent, but the fight just now was amazing. And, you know, for him to put that third round submission finish on him with a north-south choke, the way he done it, the pressure that he kept up on him. And like Sugar O'Malley said at the end, Merab is a motherfucker. And what he meant by that is, this guy's just fucking too good, bro. This guy is motherfucking too good. And honestly, I don't really see no one in that division beating him anytime soon. And yeah, you know what? Big up to Merab. And I'll tell you why I like Merab as well, going deeper into who he is as a person. I like Merab because of the way he held himself when it come to Raheem Sterling. Do you guys remember when Sterling was the champion of the Bantamweight division and Merab waited patiently because he knew his boy was the champion, didn't want to fight his boy, didn't want to step on any of his toes, took the long route to become the Bantamweight champion, right? And now he's turned around and he's giving Raheem Sterling all his props, turned around and said that he's going to give him some of his bonus, helped him out, saying that Raheem Sterling would have still been the champion if Merab wasn't around. And for me, Merab is not only a great and the best bantamweight ever, but he's one of the best characters in the UFC ever. The way he's carried his friendship with Raheem Sterling is A1, bro. Class. Absolutely class. And Merab, even though sometimes I find you cringe and you talk too much, you are a class act in and outside the octagon, bro. Big props to you, for real. And you know, I don't know if you lot saw, there was a clip of Merab talking about dating as well. Fucking, it was hilarious. He was basically talking about his perfect woman, and he kind of sounded like me, right? He was venting, yelling. Ye asked him like, "What's going on with females and yourself?" And yeah, I'll post that up for you guys in a sec. Okay, so yeah, Merab is definitely the GOAT in and outside the octagon. Bantamweight GOAT, that is. And yeah, next up, I would have said in that division, you know, you even had people like Dominic Cruz, you know, Aldo was in that division a long time ago. But Merab, for me, just elite. And if you don't think Merab's elite, you just don't understand MMA. O'Malley twice. Cejudo, Peter Yan, Umar Nurmagomedov, Aldo. Did I say Aldo already? Yeah, I said Aldo. Moraes, Peter Yan. Yeah, like even those names I just named you there, I know I'll name them again because I kind of. So yeah, like I said, if you think Merab's overrated, you don't understand MMA. O'Malley twice, Jose Aldo, Peter Yan, Moraes, Henry Cejudo, Umar. Like, come on, man. He's a fucking killer. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, the only time we've seen him lose was against Ricky Simone. And, you know, that was kind of controversial. But, yeah, Ricky Simone ain't no punk either. All right, cool. Next up, we have, for me, the future GOAT. We have Kayla Harrison, who went up against Juliana Pena. And you guys saw my predictions last time. I truly thought that that Kayla Harrison was going to dominate her, and just like I said, what I said was what happened, right? Kayla Harrison was just way too much for her. Too much great ground game. She used her judo, used her wrestling, top pressure, rained down some blows from the top, and in the end, right at the end of the third round, she gets an epic kimura, which, you know, everyone thought the round had finished there. She got that kimura so quick, yanked it up, quick tap. I thought Juliana Pena broke her arm at the time. And yeah, man, big up to Kayla Harrison, because exactly how Ali Abdelaziz said it, exactly how a lot of people from AT&T said it from her gym, she is truly the best female on earth at fighting. And I truly believe that she's going to beat Amanda Nunes' ass. You know, Amanda Nunes is the GOAT currently, right? She's the best ever woman in the UFC, in her division. You know, you can mention people like Valentina, even though Valentina lost to her, but, you know, at a different weight. And Valentina's smaller than her. You know, because I would say Valentina's one of the female GOATs as well. But at 135... Amanda Nunes was the GOAT and is still the GOAT, right? You know, she's making a comeback. And for me, this is the first ever. You know, the last time I would say there was a female super fight was Jan Jacek v Zhang. And, you know, I went and watched that live. Probably the best female fight I've ever seen. Not just live, but ever in general. But I think this is the second most anticipated and most exciting female fight that's going to happen. Amanda Nunes vs Kayla Harrison, the battle of the beasts, and I can't wait to see that. I can't wait. You know, a lot of people are saying that Nunes is going to take the win. For me, I think Kayla Harrison's just going to dominate her. She's been more active. Her judo's too good. Her wrestling game looks even better than Nunes's. Guys, who do you think in the chat? Do you think Nunes is going to lose? Do you think Nunes is going to win? I think that one, from speaking to a lot of MMA people, is kind of split in 50-50. So, yeah. Also, I can't really see no one. Is this the chat? It says that I can't really see it at all. Live chat, that's why. Okay. All right. Yeah, big up Twitch as well, man. You know, if you are watching me on Twitch, I do realize that a lot of people kind of stick to every platform that they like. For example, me, I watch most things on YouTube. I think it's easier. I like the layouts, etc. But just be in mind, guys, I will be live on Twitch every single day. But Twitch is literally the most cucked platform out of all of them. Yeah, like it's probably going to be the first one I get banned on. There's literally no true conservative influencers on Twitch. Literally, the owner of Twitch is like literally like the #1 cuck. He like promotes degeneracy, porn, women dancing around naked and doing all these fucking valueless TikToks. But you know, as soon as we've got guys on there talking about real shit, he doesn't like it. In fact, I would say the only person who actually is even a little bit based on Twitch is Osman Gold, right? And I would say he's a centrist. I wouldn't say he's like right leaning. I would say he's in the middle. But yeah, so guys, make sure if you are watching me on Twitch, make sure you come over to Kick as well. Make sure you come over to YouTube, etc. All right, cool. So yeah, that was uncovering the female fight. And what other fights did we have? We had, and yeah, even Kayla. A lot of people have said, you know, Kayla's had an easy, quick rise. She was pushed by the UFC, which I agree, but she was pushed because she was so dominant outside of the UFC, right? At the PFL, she was taking out everyone. However, since she's been in the UFC, she has taken out some good girls, man. She's taken out Ketlin Vieira. She's taken out Juliana Pena, as we saw this weekend. Aspen Ladd. She also took out Holly Holm, who for me is a great female fighter. So yeah, Kayla has done her thing, in my opinion. All right, next up we have Gastelum vs Joe Pyfer. For me, that was an L fight for both of them, and I'll explain to you guys why. Joe Pyfer had a lot of hype, has a lot of hype behind him. We saw him lose to, was it Paul Craig? Do you want to do the you want to do the check on that? Who did Joe Pyfer lose to last time? I think it might have been Paul Craig, maybe. Can't remember exactly. But anyway, Joe Pyfer lost his last fight, right? And then this time he comes out, doesn't get a finish against Kelvin Gastelum, who literally looks like a torto, right? I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I don't know, for fat Mexican girls, we call him tortas. For him, he's a torto, right? Kelvin Gastelum literally looks like a burrito, a walking burrito. Kelvin Gastelum looks like. Oh, that's it, Jack Hermanson. Sorry, man. Sorry, it was Jack Hermanson, not Paul Craig. Yeah, he lost against Joe Pyfer. Lost against Paul. Joe Pyfer lost against Jack Hermanson, which Jack Hermanson's a killer, right? But you know, he loses to Jack Hermanson, which hype goes down a little bit. And for me now, even his hype's gone even more because he wasn't able to beat a burrito, a standing burrito in Kelvin Gastelum. Now, you know, is Kelvin Gastelum a good fighter? Yeah, he's good. He's explosive. He has good counter-attack striking. However, he's done, man. Kelvin, you're finished, bro. I was a fan of you, but just seeing your physique as of late, you look like a walking burrito. You're eating too many tacos. You don't give a fuck about your physique. You clearly don't have no more cardio left. And you're not taking fighting seriously. And, you know, do you really blame Dana if he releases you now? You can't blame him, bro. And honestly, I do think you're going to get released. You know, the last time, mostly you pull out of fights, but the last time I understand that it was Joe Pyfer who pulled out because, you know, he said that Mexican food sucks and it got him sick, etc. Which I love Mexican food, personally. But, yeah, man, I just think Kelvin Gastelum's finished now. Those times when he had that war with Adesanya and, you know, he was the short, stocky killer, those times are over. For me, he just doesn't have nothing left in the gas tank. Next up, we have Mario Bautista vs Patchy Mix. You know, I have a lot of jiu-jitsu friends who are good friends with Patchy Mix. And I don't want to, you know, shit on a man when he's down. And, you know, I've seen videos of Patchy Mix in the past, and I was excited for this fight. You know, I wanted to see what he had. A lot of people hyped him up to be the next best jiu-jitsu guy. Man, I was very underwhelmed. I'll be honest with you guys. For me, you want me to be honest? You really want me to be honest? I don't even think Patchy Mix would have beat me on that night. And I'm being completely deadly serious, bro. Like, his jiu-jitsu looked non-existent. He was so flat-footed. He had no bounce to him. He had nothing on the striking. His hands looked slow. Literally, I don't even think Patchy Mix would have beat me that night. And if you ask me what was wrong with him, the only thing I could call out is that he had an injury. I know it was a short notice fight, but bro, you can call me short notice. You can put me against Volkanovski. I'll get my ass beat. Trust me, I know I'll get my ass beat. But I'll look better than Patchy Mix did against Mario Bautista, man. I'll look more springy. My striking will look better. My takedowns and my takedown defense will look better. Like, he was just non-existent. He was so flat. His striking was awful. He looked like he didn't have no jiu-jitsu behind him. Like, Patchy, man, like, I was very disappointed and underwhelmed, man. And Mario Bautista just dominated you everywhere. And don't get me wrong, Mario Bautista's a killer. Only 2 losses in the UFC. And, you know, he's got some great wins behind him. But, yeah, man, it just wasn't good enough. And Patchy, your next performance is going to have to come through the roof, bro. You're really going to have to make up for it because it just wasn't good enough, bro. It was poor. Like, no offense, bro, but I think your missus, Tatiana Suarez, would have done better. It's just the truth, bro. Anyway, finally, the last fight we're going to uncover from the UFC 316 was Luque vs Kevin Holland. And I called that one as well, right? I did think that Kevin Holland was going to get the knockdown on him, but what a beautiful, was it a dash choke? Was it a dash choke? Was it a dash choke or was it like a modified, you know what? I don't even think it was a dash choke. I think it was more of a modified guillotine, like a different kind of guillotine. But yeah, big up to Kevin Holland. You know, Kevin Holland's someone that I don't really see Kevin Holland ever being a champion, right? But he's a killer. And he's improved so much. Like, every fight I see improvements. And, you know, Kevin Holland's one of those guys that we see him win, lose, win, lose, win, lose. However, they are putting him up against killers. He does take short notice fights. And he does go up and down in weights. You know, he goes from 185 to 170. He goes from middleweight to welterweight and back and forth. So I thought Kevin Holland looked spectacular. I think his striking looked great. And, you know, as soon as Luque went for the takedown and things went to the ground, Kevin Holland, he might not have the best wrestling, but I'll tell you something. Kevin Holland's jiu-jitsu is fucking elite, man. The way he got that choke so quickly. And what was it, Andy? Was it? It's a Bravo? Bravo. Okay, so I'm guessing it's like a modified guillotine. That's what it kind of is, right? And yeah, man, big props to Kevin Holland. You know, Vicente Luque is not a punk, especially on the ground, right? Luque is actually really good on the ground. So to see Kevin Holland go out there and, you know, pepper him up standing and then get the modified guillotine on him the way he did, big up to Kevin Holland. And I do want to see a big fight for him next. I think he's working himself back up. And do you know what? Even though I'm saying that I don't believe Kevin Holland can be a champion, if he did ever become a champion, I would never say, no way. He kind of reminds me and gives me the aura of Charles Oliveira. One of those guys who had to go through the fucking shit, lived and learned, got some losses on his record, but now is coming out the other side as a real warrior. So, yeah, big up to Kevin Holland. I do like Kevin Holland. I like a lot of what he stands for as well. We have a lot of the same views. So, yeah, big up Kevin Holland on the W and excited for his next fight. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch more clips like that, click here. Or if you want to watch the full stream, click here.